Azure Virtual WAN. This is again a little bit of design and theoretical video so that we could have a good grasp on the topic conceptually and from the design perspective as well as business perspective. All right, so we'll be utilizing this PPT here along with our usual design way of understanding the concepts. So let's see, as per the presentation, what all do we have here? Okay, here I have set up some agenda so that we will have the proper idea what we are going to understand. First, it's virtual WAN along with the virtual hub and why it is so revolutionary, and then what problems it is solving. We have seen few in the previous video, but this will be add-on. And of course, then we'll see how it actually works. So in order to just define virtual WAN, it is a networking service by Microsoft that simplifies global network connectivity. If you remember the previous video, you can, just join the dots. It acts as a centralized, scalable hub and spoke architecture to connect branch offices, remote users, on-premises environments, and Azure resources. So we have just read, but we need to understand this. That would make more sense. So let's get back to our design. So how actually it happens? Let's understand this. Azure Virtual WAN. So whenever we plan for it, we deploy Azure Virtual WAN as a service in Azure. Okay. Then you will understand the definition. If I'll help you understand, this is Azure Virtual WAN. Okay. Now, what it does, it's a global resource. This is something important we need to understand. Global. This is global resource. Okay. Virtual WAN. All right. And how exactly it is a networking service which provides centralized hub and spoke architecture with the help of virtual WAN. Yes, when we create virtual WAN, sorry, hub, when we create virtual WAN, it is just a service where we need to deploy a hub, a virtual hub inside it, and this virtual hub is a regional service. This is hub. Now, if you ask me, or if we have to define what is virtual hub, right? So virtual hub is a managed network. First of all, just catch the word managed network. So when we deploy hub, we have to define the IP addresses for it. It is a virtual network which is managed by Azure, and this will give us the power to connect with multiple offices, sites, point to site, and everything. How? Because it acts as a central routing gateway. Let's put it this way. Okay, now it is a central routing gateway hub and it is a regional service. Let's call it region 1. Okay, now this will give us the ability to do what? Connecting who? Connecting the regional offices, branch offices, remote users, uh, Azure virtual networks, right? Because whenever we do not use virtual WAN for a small setup, let's make it very clear. We go with the virtual WAN usually when we have a little complex networking to help us simplify it, right? So we have a lot of things. For example, here we have main office or like headquarters. We have branch offices. Okay, these are on-premises offices. which also needs to connect to each other. We have remote users, not one but many. So I'm writing remote users, right? These are Azure Virtual Networks, right? Maybe I should create it with blue, right? Just to look at little understandable, or nice rather. We have virtual network here as well, just to show multiple virtual networks. Multiple virtual networks. Okay. And these are connected to the hub. These are connected to hub. I'll explain the definition now and it will make you more sense. These are Azure VNet. These are Azure VNet. Right now, let's define it again. So, what is virtual WAN? Azure Virtual WAN is a networking service. Now you understand why it is networking service, because it's dealing with the network. All these are connecting to hub. It's a networking service, right? And provided by Microsoft. So networking service by Microsoft that provides centralized hub and spoke architecture, right? As you can see, it is centralized hub and these are the spoke, and it is for global network connectivity and management. So we should make a point for global network connectivity and management, which means what? Which means it is not limited to the region, because your virtual WAN is a global resource. Your hub is a regional resource. So if it's a different region, what we can do, we can deploy another hub, right? So let's suppose this is hub 2 in a region 2, right? And this hub has its own offices. What are there in the that region? Okay, maybe these are Azure. Just for the sake of understanding, only creating two, it could be many, could be remote users as well, right? So the let's suppose this is Azure VNet and this is some office region 2, and these are connected with this, right? Now look at this. We said for global network connectivity, which means if this guy sitting here, let's suppose there is a virtual machines here and there's a virtual machine here, through single virtual WAN we have in region 1 and region 2, it can talk to here. Of course you have all the control, should not, but it allow the transit, no need to go ahead and connect each and every one, and it can talk to this guy as well. And you're managing through this single pane, single Azure Virtual WAN, right? So that's what it is. This definition is, it's a network service which provides centralized hub and spoke. As you can see, this WAN act as an hub, and these all are the spoke. If we go granular inside the WAN, we have two hub. This is virtual hub for region 1, virtual hub for region 2, and these are connected to each other under virtual WAN. It's a wide area network for you guys only, right? I hope now it make more sense. Now let's quickly understand other pieces. For example, The definition also says it integrates multiple network capabilities like site to site. For example, this will be site to site. This may be, let's call it an express route. It supports all. This is point to site, right? We can call it VNet or peering, right? So it integrates multiple network capabilities like site to site VPN, point to site VPN, express route, and you can also deploy firewall as well. Firewall, all right, to manage the traffic. You can also integrate it with third party SD-WAN solutions into a single operational interface if needed. All right, so now I think it has a we have a pretty decent idea of what we are talking about. Now let's get back to the slides. We understood the WAN. Now let's understand the key features of virtual WAN. The very first is a centralized hub and spoke architecture that we have already seen. This is centralized hub and spoke architecture. So in Azure Virtual WAN, uses centralized hub in an Azure region to manage and route traffic to connected resources such as branch offices, on-premises data centers, remote users, and Azure Virtual Network in a regional hub. Right. We can also take an example just to make sure we are on the same page. Let's imagine a global retail chain with branch offices in region 1, region 2, and region 3. Let's call it US, Europe, and Asia. So each office connects to a local hub. See, region 1 to this hub, region 2, this hub. They are connected to their local hubs in the nearest Azure region. That's the wise choice, right? The hub ensures all offices can securely communicate with each other and the Azure hosted inventory application. And it is all happening over the backbone, Microsoft. So, how it helps? It reduces the complexity of managing individual connections by centralizing traffic management. So, that is one key feature. Now you can see the another feature is global connectivity through Microsoft Backbone. No need to explain, you can easily understand now with the first point. And it supports multiple connection. We have already talked about site to site, express point to site, SD-WAN as well. Another one is, let me go back to the slide. The integrated with the Azure firewall. Yes, we have seen that Azure Virtual WAN can easily be integrated with firewall to inspect and filter network traffic. And simplified network management, of course it is simplified because it gives us centralized management, making it easy to monitor, configure, and troubleshoot global network connections through Azure portal. And it of course reduces operational overhead by consolidating all network configuration and monitoring into a single pane of glass. Then dynamic automated routing. Yes, if you like, you can control, but by default, it gives you all that connectivity that we were talking about. It automatically propagates routes between connected resources. As I explained, you need not to do anything. Hubs take care of everything. Once this is connected, this guy can talk to this guy. This guy can also talk to this guy. So it also enables the transit. Let me remove this line. Okay, now let's see the another points. SD-WAN integration, we did talk about it. And at virtual WAN, designed to support thousands of connections across global regions, accommodating growing enterprise networks, so it is highly scalable. And yes, this virtual WAN connects Azure regions and on-premise environments, so it enables efficient data replication and disaster recovery. So we need to think from that perspective as well. Just think about it. In the same situation, maybe region 2 is your disaster recovery, and you would like to have the DR landing zone in place, and they can talk to each other or replicate. like that. So it helps in disaster recovery as well. So if we just need to summarize, Azure Virtual WAN provides a comprehensive uh, networking solution. Okay, let me put the diagram above. Comprehensive networking solution that simplifies connectivity, enhances security, and ensures performance across global enterprise. It's centralized management, dynamic routing, and integration with Microsoft global backbone make it powerful tool for modern business looking to streamline and future proof for their networking needs. If I need to just make a just for your imagination perspective, this is all is on MS backbone, right? Because everything is on Azure, this particular piece. So all the traffic is going through the MS backbone. We can write here MS backbone because it is all running on MS. Now, we did talk about virtual hub. It is a key component. This hub is a key component of Azure Virtual WAN. Let me back to the slide so that we'll be with the topics covered. Virtual hub. So this was the topic. So let's cover it through virtual hub. So virtual hub is a key component of virtual WAN. It serves as a centralized hub in a region of managing and routing network traffic. It is also managed network. This hub acts as a gateway and connectivity point for branch offices, as you can see, right? So there are certain things that we should be aware of, like we should deploy hubs in regions close to your users, right? Or your branch offices or your data centers. It makes sense, right? And consider geographic proximity for latency sensitive application like databases or real-time services. And it support all different kind of components. These are the components for hub. And let's go back to the slide. A lot of things will be clear when we'll do a lab a little bit in maybe next video. All right, these are the core components. We covered the hub. Now let's see. And before we go ahead, I should also summarize hub so that it will help us retain the knowledge. Hub is a, let's call it a powerful centralized connectivity and routing solution that simplifies network management. So hub gives the power to the WAN. Okay, let's put it this way, but just for the understanding. So, what it does, it is a centralized connectivity and routing solution that simplifies network management, enhances security, managing from here, securing from here, and improves global performance because of Microsoft backbone. By considering factors like hub placement, connectivity types, routing policies, and security integration, we can design a robust, scalable, and efficient network infrastructure, okay, as per the business needs. Let me get back to the slide. Now, problem Azure WAN and hub solves. We need to understand that. So network complexity, performance bottlenecks, fragment security, operational efficiency, these are the problems that Azure Virtual WAN solves. Let's get back to the design and try to explore it a little more. So before Azure Virtual WAN, managing global network meant handling multiple VPNs, inconsistent routing policies, and complex topologies. Virtual WAN centralizes everything. Earlier, as you seen in the previous video, they were all connected like a mesh and things like that. Everybody having their own kind of policies and configuration firewalls. But now here, everything is centralized, managed. So it simplifies the complexity of networking. Now, public internet connections can lead to unpredictable latency, but here Azure WAN uses backbone for consistent low latency performances. And hub integrates with security resources like firewall, ensuring all traffic is monitored and control from a single point. So security. And of course, if we combine all these things, operational efficiency, because traditional setups require manual configuration for routing, connectivity. With virtual WAN, everything is automated and managed centrally. It's important point, it's managed, right? You need not to do and configure all these things. So I hope this makes sense. Let's go to another use cases. These are some use cases. As I was saying, it is not just for if somebody is running couple of VMs. No, you don't need WAN. You can easily take care of with other usual ways of running the network. But for global enterprises, it will help in seamless connecting branch offices, remote users, and Azure resource worldwide. uh, Hybrid cloud, as we have already seen, connect on-prem data centers with Azure for hybrid, remote, and DR. We have already covered all those points. So these are some use cases I got, but we have already explained in our design. Now, let me put the design again, and all those things that we have talked as of now, you can easily make them as benefits. For example, centralized management. It is repetitive, but it will help to retain the knowledge. Okay, what all? Performance, or rather global performance. Why? Because of that backbone. Scalability, as we have already seen, it can connect a lot of connections, and easily add new locations, users, and resources. When it grows, you just need to hook up the other things here, and everything would be taken care by hub, and they can talk to the other connected uh, sites with the hub. So scalability, of course, security. These are the benefits. You can have the NV and firewall with this hub, and cost, because of all those reasons, it will help to optimize the cost. These are some benefits, right? And let me quickly see. I think we are done. Yes. Okay. I was planning to write the lab, but we'll see the lab in the next video. I hope now we have a pretty decent idea what is WAN, what is hub, why are we using it, the things that this offering us, right? Now, next video, we'll see how to deploy it and the other aspect of virtual WAN. Well, thank you for watching.